What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily Rewind. This is where we go back a week and put all 7 days of tech news videos into one single video for you so you don't have to go back and do the work. We did it for you. And in this week, it was tons of Galaxy Note 10 news. So if you've been itching and craving for Note 10 and Note 10 Plus news, we have it here in this video. So you definitely want to watch it, guys. And we have official teaser videos and official photos and press renders and all kinds of good stuff about this phone. More news and rumors and photos and videos and stuff is coming out about this phone. It is Note 10 season. That is what I love about technology. Just like sports, we have baseball during some seasons and football during other seasons and so on and so forth. We have tech seasons, and this tech season, especially here in America and mostly the rest of the world, is all about the Note 10. Enjoy it. Let me know what your favorite story was of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about a potential new fourth mobile carrier here in the US, and it would come from the spectrum that T-Mobile and Sprint would have to give away, and it looks like Dish and Google would be that company that ends up starting that fourth new US carrier. Now, this could potentially be humongous. Obviously, Google is one of the biggest, largest companies in the world, and Dish is a very large company themselves. If you don't know who Dish is obviously a satellite carrier here in the United States. They compete with DirecTV, who's owned by AT&T. But regardless, this could be huge, guys. You're talking about a company that could potentially easily take on Verizon and T-Mobile, Sprint, and AT&T. It would make for a great story in terms of consumer getting potentially still great prices and competitiveness between all four carriers still. So I really love this. I really hope this comes out to be true, but that is the latest rumor we're hearing about this. I will carry on and let you guys know what's going on with this as time goes on. And the last story of the day is Google Pixel 4 XL photo renders. This is something I've been kind of waiting for. This should be pretty much official at this point. It's coming from OnLeaks, and when we look at this, what we're going to see is on the front, you're going to see dual cameras at the top. So 2 cameras at the top. And you're also going to see 2 sensors. Those sensors could potentially be something what iPhone gives you, and that could be face unlock, real protective face unlock. Something that Android really doesn't have. They have face unlock, but they don't have a very protective one that like iPhone. Also at the top and the bottom, you're going to see kind of a bezel, and it looks like they're getting rid of the notch design. I think that's kind of surprising in a way, especially with this bezel being fairly large at the top. It's kind of small at the bottom, but it's pretty big at the top. I don't mind the design. I probably like it aesthetically better pleasing than the notch design. On the side, you're gonna get your power buttons and volume buttons, all that stuff on the right-hand side. And then on the back of this phone, you're gonna get 3 cameras along with a flash and a microphone. So this is a big design change in terms of cameras. If you think about the Pixel 2 XL and the Pixel 3 XL, they had a camera on the front, a camera on the back. This is gonna have 5 cameras total on this phone. The display size on this new Pixel 4 XL should be 6.25 inches. As for specs, some of those specs should be a Snapdragon 855 with 6 gigabytes of RAM, which is a bump from the 4 gigabytes RAM in the previous version. And at the bottom of the phone will be 2 stereo speakers and a USB-C port. Now, the design of the phone isn't anything crazy. I still think that the Galaxy phones look a lot better, but in terms of it having everything that you possibly want with 5 cameras and stereo speakers, and obviously a headphone jack would have been nice. A fairly large display at 6.25. It's definitely a phone to be looking at. Pixel usually has the best or one of the best cameras on the market, and very good performance in terms of using the phone on a day-to-day basis. So let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is that YouTube is now officially available as a downloadable app again on Fire TV devices. This was in the works for years, I guess, and in the last couple of months we've heard that it's going to be coming back to Fire TV devices, and today is the official day. So if you have a Fire TV device, you can now download the official YouTube app. You don't have to watch YouTube videos through the Silk browser or Firefox browser. Great news. Also, if you're using a Amazon Chromecast device or an Android TV device, Amazon Prime Video is also available as an app on those devices. If you're excited about the Galaxy Tab S6, that's right, Tab S6. Looks like Samsung is going to be skipping the S5 moniker and leaving that for the S5e, which is their mid-tier tablet they just released a few months ago, and they're gonna jump to the Galaxy Tab S6 for their new flagship tablet. It's gonna have a Snapdragon 855, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and this is the first look at the tablet. Sam Mobile got their hands on photos of what this tablet is going to look like, and on the front, not a huge difference in terms of the way it looks versus the Galaxy Tab S4. You do have bezels on there, you have some sensors and a camera at the top as well. You're going to have the Galaxy Tab S6 branding on the screen, obviously. It does have a dual camera on the back, which is going to be different. It's going to be Samsung's first tablet, I believe, that has a dual camera on the back. So as for the dual camera, it's also going to come with an S Pen that has Bluetooth built into it, and it will charge when it's on the side of the tablet. So kind of like what they do with the iPad, this Tab S6 will be able to do something very similar by charging and holstering the S Pen on the side of its device. And the last story of the day is all about the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. And Indonesia, Samsung put out a tweet showing off a little teaser video of the Note 10 and how productivity really enhances its ability to be used and maybe overcome other phones as well, since it has the S Pen and DeX. And overall, it's gonna be a device that gives you super productivity. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about Google Stadia. If you don't know what Google Stadia is, it is their game streaming service that allow you to stream games in 4K 60 frames per second, or at least up to that, from basically lots of different devices, phones, tablets, computers, basically anything running Chrome OS or on phones. Now, the only phones they're going to support initially are 4 phones. That's Pixel 3a, 3a XL, 3 and 3 XL, and then obviously when the 4 and 4 XL, those will also be, but initially it's only going to be those 4 phones when it launches this fall, winter. So if you don't have, if you have like a Galaxy phone or an iPhone, which are basically almost all the rest of the market, at least here in America, you're not going to be able to use Google Stadia on here. I think it's a bad move on Google's part to do something like this. I think it's going to be, it could potentially be a really, really cool service, especially people that want to play very high-end games. We'll wait and see how it pans out though. And the last story of the day is about the Galaxy Note 10 5G. Now remember, we did have the S10 5G that came out a little bit later than the regular S10 and S10 Plus. But it looks like the Note 10 5G is going to come in the following storage sizes. It's going to come in 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, and 1 terabyte of storage. Now, the 1 terabyte storage should definitely come with 12 gigabytes of RAM as well. I don't know what the RAM sizes would be for the 256 and the 512, but the 1 terabyte, without a doubt, should have 12 gigabytes of RAM. Also remember, the 5G version of the S10 did not have an SD card. I very much expect the Note 10 versions of this phone to also not have an SD card built into the phone. You also probably shouldn't have the headphone jack as well, since the other Note 10 and Note 10 Plus don't have the headphone jack. So some things to keep in mind if you're getting the 5G version or it's something you want. Those are 2 features it most likely won't have. The SD card will be built into the Note 10 Plus without a doubt. And also you gotta remember the price. The price is probably gonna be a lot more than the regular just LTE versions. Also remember, 5G isn't fully built out everywhere. It's very, very, very limited. When I say limited, I mean even within cities, it's just blocks or certain areas of the city. It's not the whole city at this point. So 5G is really, really not ready, but it might be something you want overall. Maybe you live in a neighborhood where 5G is very prevalent. I can see you definitely wanting this because you're always going to be able to use it. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the earphones coming with the Galaxy Note 10. Now this tweet comes from Roland Quand, and he says Samsung has a new pair of wired in-ear headphones with active noise canceling coming for your future Note 10. So it sounds like the headphones that will be included will be noise canceling, and he says that yes, USB-C, and yes, the EP N5200 wireless charger definitely is officially spec'd to deliver up to 20 watts. And then his third tweet in there says, and there is a new 9-watt wireless charging capable phone holder on its way too. So let's talk about his tweets right there. So one of them, obviously the USB-C headphones, it sounds like included in the box will be active noise canceling, which is great. It's gonna block a lot of that outside noise. I love seeing that. It's something that the current headphones that are in the box don't do. And then the other part of that is that the wireless charger that will be sold alongside the Galaxy Note 10 will be able to charge at 20 watts. It's really fast. That's great to see as well. So really good things coming on the accessory side of the Galaxy Note 10. And then the last story of the day comes from My Smart Price. They got their hands-on exclusive. These are basically real official renders of what the Galaxy Note 10 is going to look like in these colors. Especially the silver is magnificent. It's so beautiful. And there you guys go. This is the silver color right here of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And this is a silver color, but it's just showing you that it's gonna be able to change to all these different colors in different lighting settings. So you'll get see the blues and the purples and the whites and the silvers and just all kinds of colors in here that is gonna really make it shine. It's beautiful. It really makes the phone look special. And then on the front here, you have the new wallpaper that will be official with the Galaxy Note 10. Totally different than any wallpapers they've put out in the past. I think it looks very sleek, modern, nice. They did a great job with that wallpaper. I like the blue S Pen with this one. So far, out of these two colors, because then you see the black one. The black one looks a little boring to me, the color anyway. So I think at this point, out of the two colors I've seen thus far, I would definitely choose the black one. The other thing to keep in mind is when you look at these renders, the thing that's missing is the heart rate sensor monitor, which I never use anyway on my phone, so to me it's not a big deal. It is something to keep in mind. It will not be included on the Note 10 or the Note 10 Plus. Come on guys, tell me you don't love that silver colored phone. It's very similar to what the Galaxy S10 has out in the world right now. They have a very similar silver color that turns all kinds of different variants of other colors as well. So let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is about the price of the Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. This tweet comes from Roland Quand. Roland says Samsung Galaxy Note 10/Note 10 Plus start at 256 gigabytes in Europe. So that's pretty big. Last year's version started at 128. Even the Galaxy S10 line of phones started at 128. And it looks like it's going to be priced at $999 for the Galaxy Note 10. And for the Note 10 Plus, it's going to start off at $1149. Now, these are Euro prices. And he says based on what the retailers are saying, may change depending upon markets and other factors. So those prices are actually relatively normal, I guess. They're not overly exuberant for what you would expect with another flagship type phone coming out. They're keeping their prices relatively the same. It's still over $1,000. I know it's a price a lot of people still don't want to pay, but at least it's not $1,500, $1,600, $1,700, $1,800, which not to say there won't be a version that does cost that much, but that's the prices thus far that we're seeing. I can expect these prices to be very similar to be in America. So I would expect America to be $1,000 and again, $1,150 for both of those phones. I really don't see any change with the Euro prices versus American prices. This other bit of information came out of South Korea. They said with an Unpacked event slated for August 7th in New York, Samsung plans to accept pre-orders for the Galaxy Note 10 2 days later. So it looks like they're gonna start pre-orders on August 9th for the Galaxy Note 10, Note 10 Plus, ahead of its official launch in the domestic market on August 23rd. So it looks like this phone will be released on August 23rd. Now they're saying this is just for South Korea, but you could pretty much write that in stone that it's gonna be exactly the same. They've been launching their phones lately, especially the flagship phones at the same time in most markets. So August 23rd, release date, August 9th for the pre-order. It says the device will only support 5G in South Korea, while both 4G and 5G models will be available for the global market, they noted. So what they're talking about there is that the 5G model of the regular size Note 10 will only be in South Korea, whereas the Note 10 Plus will come in 4G, 5G globally. And then lastly, they said the device is expected to come in two sizes, 6.3 inches for the standard model and 6.7 inches for the premium one, respectively, priced at around $1,020 for the regular Note 10 and $1,186 in a USD. So everything's lining up just as you kind of would expect it. No real curveballs thrown in there. The prices are kind of what I expected them to be. It doesn't surprise me at all. Also, the pre-order and release dates, they line up exactly with what Samsung's been doing over the last couple of years in terms of having these release dates and having the pre-orders a couple of days after their launch event, which will be in New York City, August 7th, which I will be at. August 23rd, a couple of weeks later, being the actual release date. And then obviously, at least here in America, with release dates, seems like T-Mobile, Sprint, and Verizon always release these phones at least sometimes almost a week ahead of time, or at least a few days ahead of time before that August 23rd release date. So that's what. Let's get into the tech news. We only have one story today, and it is about the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, which I know will make a lot of you guys happy. And it shows off about 24 photos of this phone. These are press renders. These should be official press renders. So when the phone actually gets released and Samsung actually releases all these press rendered photos, these are gonna be what you're going to see. So this is basically a first look. One thing that's missing though is it's not showing the bottom of the phone, which unfortunate, but I know a lot of you guys would want to see that to see if there's a headphone jack. There's no headphone jack. This did pass through the FCC recently and the headphone jack is removed, but otherwise it shows almost every other angle of this phone as you've been seeing. And you see the black one. We also have the silver phone as well. It turns all kinds of different colors. And overall, the design is definitely has grown on me a lot, especially the silver one, like I said in previous videos, where that color just really pops and stands out and just makes the phone feel just different in terms of what you're gonna get. Instead of just a plain silver phone, you're gonna get all kinds of prismed, different looking colors, you know, from green and blue and purple and all those colors. So it looks really, really, really cool and nice. And I think they did a great job on the design of this phone with the small bezels on the top and at the bottom of the phone on the front. The camera in the middle doesn't really bother me. Whatever, I'm used to it anyway already on the Galaxy S10 Plus where it's in the top right. This one, again, doesn't bother me that much at all. And then on the back, you get the 3 cameras and you also get, or actually 4 cameras if you're getting the Plus version of this. And then, yeah, just a great looking phone. I'm excited to get my hands on this, and it should be out, or at least announced on August 7th in New York City at Barclays. Let's get into the tech news. First story of the day is that the Pixel 4 was spotted in public the other day at the London Underground. And this, from this photo, you can see that it is the Pixel because it has a square camera module that contains a main camera, a telephoto lens, an LED flash, and another sensor. And beyond that, again, it's in a protective case, basically keeping it safe and secure in the casing, and hopefully harder to detect from people like this guy that caught a photo of it. I guess Luis Brian caught it, and yeah, that's kind of cool that he caught this phone in the wild. The new Pixel phones should be out in October. It's usually when they come out, and they usually are one of the last flagship phones of the year at that. So if you're waiting for the Pixel phone, you're gonna have to wait until October most likely. Next up is another quote unquote press render of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus phone, and it's from Slashleaks. And one of the cool things it shows off is the top of the phone, and you can see at the top, you get the microphone on the kind of, I'd say the left, but it's basically in the middle, and then all the way over to the right for the most part is the other microphone. But then in the middle of that, just above the front facing camera, you do see the IR blaster. Remember, this is going to be kind of old technology, and it's technology I think a lot of people wanted back. And basically it'll allow you to control your old school television, or not smart television, but just a television at that. Anything that uses an IR blaster, think of a air conditioner. There's all kinds of things that use IR blasters, but basically it's gonna allow your phone to be a remote control. For me, it's not a huge deal to have an IR blaster. At this point, I control my TVs and my Amazon Fires and my NVIDIA Shields and all that stuff. I control that with my phone when I want to, and I'm not using the actual remote. So whatever, it's kind of cool to have, but in the grand scheme of things, am I gonna use it that much? Probably not. I can see other people using it more. Maybe they just, because you guys have been talking about it for years, but for me, not so much a big deal. What do you guys think? And the last story of the day is if you're looking to get a Galaxy S10e, S10, or S10 Plus, it is a really, really good time to pick one up right now. You can get them, at least at Best Buy anyway, if you activate it afterwards with Sprint, Verizon, or AT&T, up to $500 off for the S10e, S10, or S10 Plus. So basically, you can get a S10 Plus with a terabyte of storage for as low as like $1,099 for that version, and then as low as $599 for the 128, and then every price in between. But basically $500 off for all three of those lines at Best Buy. You can save about $200 or $300 at Amazon and Samsung. I'll link all those down below. But now is an awesome time to pick up this phone if you've been waiting to grab it. There's really no reason not to. I made a video yesterday about if you should buy the S10 or the Note 10. I'll link it down below. Check it out. It might help you in your decision in buying one of these phones. I don't think you're gonna miss out that much on the S10 versus the Note 10. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. I want to know what your opinion is, guys. Or do you think it's a good idea to buy the S10 or should you buy the Note 10? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. See you guys down the road.